Okay, good morning. We are continuing with Yoreh Tarovas Kuf Bet. Okay, we're about to start Aleph. The new siman is about, if you can see it, Davar Sheyesh Lo Matirin. I just have one comment on Chatichas Haroiyah Le'ischabed from the last siman. So, an interesting difference just to stress between the Shulchan Aruch and the Ramah. The Shulchan Aruch says it's only an issue that it's not batal b'shishim if it's cooked. It has to be cooked and ready to go as is. According to the Ramah, it could, if it still has its hair and its feathers, it's also not applicable. But even if it's raw, that's the machlokas. According to the Shulchan Aruch, if it's raw, you don't say it's an issue. According to the Ramah, it is a problem. And many Ashkenazim, the poskim are mekil behefsid meruba to follow the same psak of the Shulchan Aruch. So also what comes out is sometimes if you were to go to a slaughterhouse, a mashchita or beit hashchita, and they discover there's a treifa in one of the animals, let's say one of the organs, and it's not attached to the animal anymore, and you don't know which animal it came from. So do you say the animal is batal b'shishim or chad betray really, or do you say it's chaticha or ilis chabed and therefore it's not even a be'elef batal? So in general, you'd be mekel because number one, it's raw. The meat, well, it depends at what stage you notice the issue, and it depends on this exact situation. But often, if it would happen mikar din after the fact, it would be mutter, be batal, because it's generally not a chaticha rios echabe, but it depends on the mitzias, of course. It's raw, or hopefully it still has its hair on when you find it, or the feathers, and then according to everybody. So right, so it depends. Okay, fine. Okay, let's start with Kuf Bet inside Aleph. Kol davar sheishol matirin kegon beitza shenolda b'yom tov. Okay, so this is the famous Mishnah in the beginning of Beitza. So the case of the Beitza, it was hatched on Yom Tov. It was Nolda. Laid. The egg was laid on Yom Tov. And the whole machlokas over there, four opinions, what's the situation? Usually it's just, without getting into all the details, it's generally going to be an Isser Darabanan. But again, it depends on the case, depends on which opinion, which day it was. Was it Sunday? Was it okay, whatever it is. But the case is, Lamaisa, you have an egg that's laid on Yom Tov. It doesn't matter if it's any day during the week, even Yom Tov Sheni and Chutz La'aretz, it's always going to be Aser. It's always going to be Muksa. That's always going to be Muksa. So Kol Davar Sheish Lo Matirin. But any case, right, this siman is all about something that's Aser today, and it's going to be Mutter tomorrow or in the future. So all you have to do is wait for Yom Tov to be over, and either it's a din d'oraisa or din d'rabbanan, whatever it is, it's no longer going to be a problem. The egg's going to be no longer muksa. It's going to be mutter. So therefore, if the case made it aser muksa, I mean, it might be an issa d'oraisa of hachana, but that's. Where is the issa? So the issa is you have this egg and it's muksa. And now it lands into a batch of eggs, and now it's mixed in with a bunch of eggs, and therefore you say and even though it would be batel chad betray, or if it's scrambled, it could be whatever it is, it could be even whatever the case is, chad betray, chad b'shishim, it would normally be batel, but because all you have to do is wait a day, there's an issa d'rabanan of davar sheish lo matir, and you have to wait. Chazal said anything that's going to be, you just wait out the time a little bit, because we don't want you to be benefiting from something through bittul if you don't need to. You can wait an extra day, and then there'll be no reason to have relying on bittul. That's not the right. We don't want to live our lives. We don't want to be b'diavad Jews. We want to be lechatchila Jews. So we wait a day. Just one more day. It mixed in with other eggs. Bein shlema, bein trufa. It doesn't matter if it's whole or if it's scrambled. Eina betela. It's not going to be mutter. Right? It's not an issue of being a whole. It doesn't matter if it's whole or if it's half, or it doesn't make a difference. It's just because it's a separate issue. It's not the cases, the couple simanim before. This is the siman of davar sheishal materin. So it makes no difference. It's going to be, whether it's whole or cut up, it's going to be mutter in the future. So then, afilu be'elef, even 1 in 1,000, it's still not going to be a mutter. Afilu safik im noda biyom tov. And this is the din. Of course, it is derabanan, but even if it's a suffix, noda biyom tov, you're not sure. You know the egg was laid. You weren't watching exactly before and after when Yom Tov started, and now you see it, and you're not sure if it was laid on Friday or on Yom Tov, or whatever the day of the week is. Same thing, it's Yom Tov or Shabbos, same halacha. So v'nit arva be'acheros asuros, and then it gets mixed with the other eggs. So then we have to wait because it's a davar sheishol matir, and you just wait a day. V'im nit arva b'she'ena mina b'tela b'shishim. However, this halacha of davar sheishol matirin, it's only if it's min b'mino, but it's not if it's Eino mino. If it's eino mino, it is batel beshishim. If it is to mix in with meat or mix in with vegetables, then it's just 1/60th.
Is that a continuation of the beginning of the halacha, or is that only in the case of suffix?
No, it's a continuation from the beginning. And here the Shach points out, all the poskim point out, that here we had this before by for this halacha, when we say, we have to distinguish what's min b'mino, what's min she'eno mino. Normally we learned, and generally for the halachos, it refers to ta'am. It all goes after the taste. It's machlokas, we saw the nosei kelim and the Ramah, but the halacha we generally say it always goes by taste. For this halacha, it goes by the name, whatever you call it. So therefore, it could be if it's egg whites or yolks, it has a different name. But whatever it is, whatever the food is, whatever the item is, if it has a different name, so then it's called she'eno mino, and you don't have this chumrah of davar sheishol matirin that afilu be'elef la batil. It's batil even with shishim if it has a different name. And because it's all based on, this halacha is based on, it has nothing to do with taste. It's all about davar sheishol matirin. It's all about our perception. We don't want to see or call something what it is and then say, oh, we're going to rely on bittul and eat it today when we could have just waited a day. It's not, the whole halacha has nothing to do with taste. So therefore, when we say she'eno mino, it has nothing to do with the taste. It has to do with what it's called. What else did the Shach point out?
Even if it's a sphinx fake? This is this case here. Even the suffix in older than
right.
So there's two sphinxes, right? Which egg is it? Even if it is that egg.
Yeah, so that's the halacha. That's the halacha. It's not a regular case of sphinx feka. It's right. This would be, now that's the poskim point. That's if it's a suffix in mitzius. You don't know when it was born. You don't know which one which one got mixed in, which one it's out. But if it's a machlokes in the halacha, for example, it was brought down the Pri Charesh and Pri Megadim, my son, Madanei Shulchan, he points out that if it's a suffix in the din right now, it's a machloket of poskim, if it's something that's aser or not aser, so then you could be makel on this din derabanan of davar sheishol matirin. Or something that's aser now, this you can see also in the Kaf HaChaim, I believe, if it's something that's, it's aser right now, but it's going to be, it's a suffix if it could be, we're going to see this later on, it's a suffix if it's going to become mutter. You might not be able to make a mutter. It's a machlokas. If you're able to make a mutter, it's a machlokas poskim, if it's possible that it's going to become mutter. So we say, lakula in this case, we say that the only time where you have this din is if now it's aser, and tomorrow it's going to be a mutter. But if now it's aser, and it's a machlokas if it's going to be mutter, so then we say it's not a davar sheishol matirin because it's aser according to those poskim, and therefore it turns out lakula in this case. Okay. Kavachayim specific iser derabanan So then maybe you could be makel but tzarech gadol. But generally, we're machmer even by the suffix iser darabanan. Okay. Interesting case. A Pri Megadim has if you get mixed in this egg with min bemino and min she'eno mino. Let's say there's eggs and meat in the pot, or whatever it is, and then it falls in. He says you can be saleket mino. We had a similar case. I don't want to get too involved, but a similar idea. You can remove ki'ilu, the portion that's mino, and then all you're left is she'eno mino, and then therefore you can rely on shishim or chad betray, whatever the case is, and you don't have to worry about afilu be'elef la batyo. That's just okay. Well, that's that was quoted in Modern Shulchan as well.
That's not the waffle, so
No, it came in already. It's not okay. And then the Shach also points out that when we say beria and a chaticha haru'uya le'yischabed, it makes no difference if it's mino or shalo b'mino, because there it's all about chashivut. It's all about the item, how important it is. There's nothing to do with is it going to be heter tomorrow, heter the next day.
Wouldn't you need shishim of all of the eggs that's in the pot? All the meat would need to be shishim of all the eggs in the pot because they're all.
It's a case of eggs with eggs or eggs with meat?
Eggs with eggs and meat.
Okay. So
Now,
then.
do you need shishim against the original egg, or do you need shishim against all of the eggs?
That's what the Pri Megadim writes. I
They're
don't know.
not bottles, so, but you still, it's only the original issue.
Of course, on a dinner, everything has to go through everything has to be batel midaraisa clearly. And so then I don't want to do a whole review, but basically you have to look at shishim or chad betray, depending if it's lach or yavish beyavish. And for this halacha, and so once you're okay on a deraisa level, then and the only problem is davar sheishel matirin, so that's his kula that you can just ignore. You don't have to, what? Shishim or chad betray. If it's yavish, depends on if you consider yavish beyavish.
Shishim of the meat connected all of the eggs that were in there.
No. Right. Okay. Let's continue in the Ramah. Mihu im livno bo machal or natnu ba kadera takin ha kadera. So the Ramah says, wait a second. Wait, did I skip something? No. So when do we say it needs to be? Where is this going on? That's what we're going on. So it's still hold on. He says, if you add the egg in order to make it whiter or for the look, the color, you want to make the food taste better or bigger or something. Kagon shema'u b'ternagolet ena betela. So then it's not batel, even though it's a different item, but it's there to change the food, to make it, to change the color, or to make it, I don't know, the shach, if I look in the shach. So the first case it's just for chazuta, for the color. The second case, it's latakin etzeh, it's just to make it better or tastier. Kagon, you add water or salt in the dough. And then it has the same din for this, min b'mino. Exactly how to apply, I'm not exactly sure. But in certain cases, that's what it does. Now, just something interesting to point out. Okay, so in our Ramah, we have the case livno. He writes, to put it in or to make it taste better, right? As is the word o in there, and that's the halacha. It seems to be all the achronim, if not all of them. That's how we see on our page. The Shach, the Taz, the Gra, the Be'er Heitev over here, Shulchan Aruch Harav, and Kaf HaChaim. They all say that's the halacha. As long as it accomplishes one or the other, then it becomes min b'mino, and you have the problem of davar sheishlo matirin. Just interesting, if you look in Hilchos Pesach, so there the Magen Avraham and the Be'er Heitev over there writes it has to be both. You have to do both, change the color and help the flavor. And then that's the only, so anyways, but the halacha is like what we have over here. And one of the reasons why to point that out is the Ber Hetev in the Shulchan Aruch, just so you should know, it's not always the same Ber Hetev. There's three, when we have in our Shulchan Aruch the Ber Hetev, there's three authors of the Ber Hetev. The first one is Rabbi Yishayahu ben Avraham, and is one of the descendants of the Taz, and he's the one who wrote only on Orach Chaim. Later, Rabbi Yehuda Ashkenazi, who was a Dayan in Tikton, he added on parts to the Orach Chaim, and he's the Ber Hetev for the Yoreh Deah and Even HaEzer. So even if you have a machlok, it's not necessarily a stira, it could be different people. And Zachariah Mendel from Belz is the one who wrote the Ber Hetev on the Choshen Mishpat. So that's just interesting. Okay, and then also the Gra just points out, when we talk about the taste and the color, so in the Gemara and Bava Kama, it's a whole machlokas, and there it's a machlokas when it comes to hana, but when it comes to flavor, iser, everyone agrees it's not a problem deraisa. It's just it's not a problem. What's it called? It's only a problem when it's a davar sheishol matirin. Yeah, it's just a chumrah in a case of davar sheishol matirin. But normally, sorry, let me just clarify. The issue of chazuta, of color. Sorry, whenever you put an ingredient to change the color of an item, so the Vilna Gaon, an Argra over here, writes, it never trafes the food. If you put in a coloring, it doesn't make it non-kosher. There's a machlokas by, if it affects for monetary or for hana issues, there's an issue. But as far as when it comes to, that's for hana, but when it comes to making it an isser and out of achila, he says it's never a problem, except for the chumrah of davar sheishol matirin. That's the only time it's an issue. Fine. Let's go on to Tibet. Yeah, so I didn't look into other poskim on the issue of dyes and colors. I just this I saw in the Gra. I wanted to point that out. So okay, Zarachin on that one. Beis. Yesh mi she'omer shelo amru davar sheishol matirin ela kishahamatir ati lavo al kol panim. Oh, this is where we touched upon already. The only time we say davar sheishol matirin is when when you have to be a machmer and not say it's batal b'shishim, is when you know it's going to become mutter. Oh, imamatir biyado la'asoto below hefsed, or without losing money, you can make it mutter yourself. Abal davar she'eno biyado ve'eno vaday she'avo hamatir. But anything that's not in your power to make it mutter, you wait till tomorrow. It's not going to help, or it might not help. And you don't have any way to for sure make sure it's going to be a mutter. Eno bedin davar sheishol matirin. It's not under the category of this chumrah of davar sheishol matirin. And if it's batal b'shishim, it's batal b'shishim. Lefichach beitza shel safek shreifa. So before we had the case of it was laid on Yom Tov, so there it's muksa. Here it's just a safek treifa. You don't know if it's kosher or not kosher. Shenit arva be'acheros, and it gets mixed in with other eggs. Eno bedin davar sheishol. It has nothing to do with davar sheishol. It doesn't matter how many days you're going to wait. It's still the same safek treifa. You wait till tomorrow, you wait till next month. It's still going to be a safek treifa. So therefore, the fisha eno matir bevadai ve'eno biyado. It's not for sure going to make a difference. It's not going to help, and you have nothing you can do about it. So therefore, if it's batal berov or batal b'shishim, whatever is needed, it's batal, and you don't have this chumrah of davar sheishol matirin.
What's the harm of safek treifa that you might be able to be mavara the treifa by asking a child?
I don't think he's just contrasting. I think it's just contrasting.
It's assuming the egg is not whole anymore. If it's whole,
If it's
then it's a double shimon.
okay, we'll see. I'm not sure. Okay, I'm not sure. That's okay. And the Shach just points out the Maharil points out that just to drop something in hot water to kosher a dish doesn't cost a lot of money. So it's really, really simple. So this shach says, in a case that this happens, you should, let's say your kli gets mixed in with something that was going to be matir, you should kasher it lechatchila. What? And it's in the middle of. We're going to see that later. Oh, fine. Thank you. Gimel. Let's just read Gimel. Kli shene'esar mebliat iser. There you go. Now you'll understand it better. We're talking about a kli, and it became aser it absorbed a little bit of iser. Shenitar b'acherim, and now this kli gets mixed up with another kli. One spoon gets treif, and now it gets mixed in with another spoon. Ve'eno nikar, and you don't know. You can't tell which one is the one that became bat. So then, batel barov, chad betray, 1 by 2, and it's batel barov, and therefore, as long as if it's 2 spoons, then it's not batel, it's half. But if it's more than 2 that are kosher and only one it became treif, then you don't have to worry about it. Ve'ein dani notel kedavar sheishal matirin. It's not called davar sheishal matirin, because the only way to fix it is to kosher it. And the Rama writes, "Lefi shetzarich lahotzi alav hotzaot lahagilo v'chol kayotze bazeh." You have to go. You have to heat up a fire. You have to get some wood, and you have to boil in the water. And so therefore it becomes. It costs some money and effort, and therefore, effort I'm not sure about, but it costs money. Once it costs money, again, it depends how much effort. But generally, we say you have to put in some effort. But if it costs money, you don't have to pay for it. So I don't see why it should be different. But the Shach points out that the Maharil argues, and if it's just a little bit of money and a little bit of effort, for us it's easy to heat up some hot water in our kitchen, so with gas. So therefore, he says you have to kosher it. And he says yesh lachush lidvarav, you should be a machmer to kosher it, unless it's a hefsin meruba. He goes to Maharil, but at the end of the day, that's the Shach's opinion as well. And he also says you should wait at least 24 hours to use the spoon. Like you'd say you got 2 spoons. No, we're talking about 3 spoons. But that's the case where you could say it's batal. So if you have 3 spoons or a whole drawer of spoons and one of them gets mixed in and it's treif, so all those spoons, he says you should wait 24 hours. Not everyone agrees, but that's lechatchila. It's good to be Makayim Meshach. We should wait 24 hours. So it's an Eino Ben Yomo. So it's enough that it's not a Ben Yomo. That's the case. Let's see if we want to finish this. I'm not going to finish. We'll go jump over or stop. Stop? Okay.